Hello everyone, welcome to our monthly color combo challenge. This is a challenge that I do each and every month with Gareth and I, who is Createathomewithg here on YouTube. So what we do is we choose colors, we take turns choosing colors, and we have to use those specific colors to create a card each and every month. So this month Gareth chose red, green, and white, which can only lend itself to one thing, and that is Christmas. So in the spirit of those who have been wanting to learn how to make cards, but not to be complicated, I created a very simple, cute card, and we only used a few little things extra. So let me show you what we used. We used this die folder, this embossing folder, and I don't know if you can see that, but this is what it looks like here, and I hope that shows up, but it's a little Christmas tree. And this is a Doris folder, and I believe I got this from Tuesday Morning a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe, when they were like 99 cents. And then of course you're going to need some cardstock, and this cardstock I'm going to use to cut our base, and I'm actually going to do that with you today, as requested. And I'm going to be using the Merry Christmas stamp sentiment here from this cute little stamp set by May Made It, and it's called G's Teddy Bear Lane, and it's a very cute stamp set. And I'm going to be using some ink, and I just have this little red ink here from Studio G. I got it from Michael's when they used to have their dollar bin. And then this is pistachio green, it's by Memento, and this came with a whole bunch of inks. They're dewdrop inks, and I got these from MayMayMadeIt.com. And then I'm going to be using some of this bling wrap. This was gifted to me by someone, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who gifted it to me, but it came from the $1.50 spot at Michael's. And then we're just going to be using some foam tape, or you can use pop dots or whatever. I just have this foam tape that I'm going to be using. And then I used a 6x6 sheet of this beautiful red and green and white. And it came from this paper pad called Old World Winter. And this came from Hobby Lobby. And I think I got it a couple of years ago. It's older, but they still have these, I think. I'm not sure. So, or something very similar to it. But it's a really cute card pack, and it's by Paper Studio. And I'm trying to pull things out that I've had in my stash to use. And then I just use a piece of scrap green paper that I had. So let me show you the card we're going to be doing. This is it right here, and I didn't put in sentiment on the inside yet, but it's just real simple and cute, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So let me get this straightened out here. Okay, and I also forgot to tell you, I'm going to be using a red alcohol-based marker and a green one, and I'm going to be using this white Jelly Roll pen and some Wink of Stella. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, and you don't have to have all that to cut your paper, but you know I'm a bling kind of girl, and so yeah, I like to use some bling. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and we're going to put it in our trimmer on the 8.5 inch side. So we're going to put it at 4 1/4, because that's where we want our card to be, 4 1/4 by 5.5. So when we slice it down the middle like this, and then we fold it, we have a card that's 4 1/4 by 5.5. So all I'm going to do is put my paper on the 5.5, and you don't have to have a scoreboard. If you have a trimmer, you can use it. Just put your paper on 5.5 and draw a line down with your trimmer. Now, I got this from MayMayMadeIt.com. I also have one on order that's wooden, and I can't wait to get it, that came from Createathomewithg. He had a sale on Sunday. Yes, and Donna loaded up. So anyway, that is our card base. Very simple. Oh, we still need our trimmer. What am I doing? Alright, so then we have our card base, and we want to take our pattern paper to make a mat for it. So this is 4 1/4 this way by 5 1/2. So I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch shorter on that. So instead of 4 1/4, we're going to go to 4 1/8 lengthwise. Widthwise, 4 1/8. And don't throw your scraps away because you can use them for something else. And then we were at 5 1/2, and we're going to just go back 1/8 of an inch, which will be 5 3/8. And we're just going to trim that little bit off. So that when we put it on our card, it'll be just like a perfect little border. You'll just have a tiny little white border around the edge of your card. So that is all we're going to do to that. I actually already had one cut. It doesn't matter. So just put your scraps aside because I am going to use a little piece of a scrap later. So that is the base of our card. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And then before I do that, I'm going to take my pistachio green ink. And I'm just going to edge the border of my card just to bring out some green on it. And I'm just holding the card together like this and doing it that way. Just hitting the edges. I don't know what it is. I just don't like white edges. And I'm even going up to the top. Okay? So that our edges are colored green. Alright, and then, almost forgot, I'm going to do the same thing on our mat. I'm just going to go to the green. Now, I will give you a tip. If you're not used to doing this and you really don't want to mess up and you're scared you might slip and drain your ink on the thing, if you do it from the back side, you'll slip and you'll get it on the back side and then you won't mess up your paper. So I'm just taking the ink pad itself and rubbing it on there just to get rid of that white edge. Okay? And then I'm just going to use some art glitter glue to glue our mat onto our card base. I'm just going to eyeball that, whoops, and just sort of center that on there like that. Just sort of try to get an even border. There we go. The thing about using wet glue is it gives you a little wiggle room time. Okay, so that's all we're going to do to that right now, and we're going to set that aside. Now, I am not going to use this paper. I'm going to be fussy cutting this tree out. And before I do so, we're going to color it. Now, you have an option to use the raised side or the inverted side. Now, I'm going to probably use the raised side on top. But what I'm going to do is color it from the bottom. And I'm going to take my green marker. I did this purely by accident. I was just trying it out, and I thought, well, let's see how this looks. Like that. So these are just the markers from Recollection, by the way. They're not the best, but they're, they work. So all I'm doing, basically, let's see, I think I'm going to do the red first. I'm going to take the red marker and color in the little Christmas balls on here. Actually, I'm going to use the other side. So that is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to color in the balls. And you don't have to be too precious about it. Just sort of get it on there. Now you can also put little gemstones on these little indented places where the Christmas balls are. You can put like little blingy things on there, and or you can color. Now what's really cool about this is it comes through on the other side, and I like the way that looks. So then I'm just going to take the green and do the same thing. Now these little lines right here are snow, so I'm being very careful trying not to hit all that. So I'm just going to try to stay in the line like this and color around it. And you're going to get some nice variations in the color because, and don't worry if you go outside the lines, because you're gonna cut this away anyway. But I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So I'm just coloring the tree part. And when you flip it over, you can see how the different variations in color that you get. And if you have a little white spot or whatever, you can go back in there and correct that. Just fill it in a little bit so that the white spot disappears. A little light spot, you can go back over it. So that is all I'm going to be doing in the next few minutes, is just coloring this. Okay, so I'm just finishing up coloring the tree part on the back side, or the side that's been embossed and it pushes out. And we're going to flip it over and see what we have. See, now I left this white because that's supposed to be snow. So this is what we have. And we get this lovely different shades of green. And I'm going to go back over parts of it. And that's the beauty of using alcohol markers. You can go back over them and make them darker. Here we go. And I'm just doing it lightly so I can get different shades of green. Because what we're going to do on the front side now is that we're just going to outline it. Now, if you don't have alcohol markers, by all means, you can use any kind of markers, Crayola markers, whatever. You don't have to have alcohol markers. Okay, so on this side, right here, well, we have erased lines. And all I'm going to do is go back and use my marker to trace the lines. Now, I'm not done anything to the star yet, because it is going to remain white. And I'm not too worried if I go outside the lines, because, like I said, I'm going to be fuss cutting this out. So I'm just going to go and lightly trace over my lines on the outside of the card to give it an outline and make it a little darker. But, you know, you can do this with any kind of embossing folder. It doesn't have to be a Christmas tree. You can do it with a picture or any kind of die cut or anything like that. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. You can just do it on your own and make a red-green card with white background. But I just love how the embossing looks and how you can play with embossing folders and colors and get different textures. create a different look altogether. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, no Christmas tree. No tree in nature is all the same color. It's not uniform. I'm just going to go in there and touch that up where I left a little white spot. So basically, I'm just outlining it with my marker, with my alcohol marker. Just all the raised portions. Okay. Just to give it a little bit of dark outline. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is fussy cut it out. And I'll spare you that because I'm not a pretty fussy cutter. So I'm going to cut this out and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have it all fussy cutted out. And if you're not the best fussy cutter, which I am not, I'll show you a little trick. Whatever color you do, this goes with stamping or anything else when you're fussy cutting. If you miss a couple of places and you have some white showing, just take your ink pad or whatever, or markers or whatever you're using, and just go over the tips of the sides of them and fill in if you have some white spaces, which I did pretty good on this one, but I have a couple of places. But yeah, just fill in the green. Nobody will ever know that it was supposed to have been cut a little closer or whatever. It just blends right in. Because cutting around those little ornaments can be tedious sometimes. And so I'm just going to go through here and cut. And I'm also going to go in and fill in the back of this some more, because I wanted it a little bit darker. So, why isn't it not getting through there? I don't like these markers that much. You see the big ends? They I don't know, knot up or whatever. But it was marker. Okay. So I'm just going to take my marker and outline this a little bit more. The nubs on them are pretty good. They don't usually do too bad. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. Alrighty then. Now, for the white part, I think I am going to use my, find them, down in here. I used We Castella on the last one, but I think I'm going to use my Fate Stickles, my glitter glue, from Studio G. I love this stuff too. And I'm just going to go like over the star part with it, because this is going to give it a little dimension. And I'm going to go in the snow area with it. And this is just clear, so it counts as white. So this is why it's a little bit time consuming. It's still a very easy card to do. I'm going to go and put just a little bit into the little ornaments. Obviously you want the red to show through. And I haven't been in Michael's in so long, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they still sell this little glitter glue there. And it used to be $1, but the last time I went to the Michael's last year, they were getting rid of their dollar bins. So I think they went up to $1.50 or $2. Not sure, but anyway. So that is what we're going to do for that. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit there, and then we're going to put it on our card. So while we're waiting on that, I'm just going to show you, I used a little of this little blingy stuff. You know, I like a little bling on my cards, and so I thought I would just put a little bling on it, dress it up at the bottom, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment in a minute. Oh, this is the worst part of getting this stuff off. There we go. Oh, and this one took all the glue off of it too. So, when all else fails, pull out the art glitter glue. You know, this is the best glue. It absolutely glues everything when it comes unclogged. There we go. I've glued metal with it. I've glued plastic. You name it, I've glued it with my art glitter glue. And you can get that from MayMayMadeIt.com. Edith Ray sells it at Scrapbooking with me. I'll get it out of my mouth in a minute. And but they don't ship it in the wintertime. When it gets cold and below freezing, they won't ship it. So if you need some glue, head over to May or Edith's store and load up, because they don't have it often. Alright, so then we're going to stamp our little sentiment here. Put the top of our glue back on. So I'm just going to use a piece of scrap paper to do that with. Let me get this out of the way. From Fussy Cutting. I had a little piece of paper already cut. Where is it? Oh well, there's the green. So we just need a little piece of white that's about as wide as our stamp, and then I can just stamp it out. Okay, so all you need is a little piece of scrap paper. I'm going to use this red ink and my little Merry Christmas stamp. And so I'm going to line it up on this paper. It doesn't matter if it's perfect because I'm going to trim it. Okay, so we got Merry Christmas stamp there. Cover this up so I don't stick my hand in it, because I most likely will. And then I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit. Use my trimmer. Because the truth is, I don't cut that great straight. But I am going to trim this up just a tiny bit. Not too bad when I'm just cutting straight across. Okay. And then I'm going to take our pistachio and edge the round edge around this, just to pull some of that green back in. Okay. And then I'm just going to put just a little bit of foam tape on there, on the back. Boy, I did that pretty good, eyeballing it. And then I'm going to stick it on this green piece of paper. I'm going to try to give it a tiny little border so I don't have to cut much of it off. So I'm just going to go on this side. And I'm probably leaving about a 1/16 of an inch on there. You don't have to be that precise. I just want a little bit of a border, not a lot. And then I'm going to glue it onto the card. So then I'm just going to get a strip of this. And I'm going to put it on the back of our tree. Try to put it right down in the middle. Get that flat. Alright. It would probably help if I waited till it dried. But I am not one for patience. So I will have to go back over my stickles again on this one. Alright. I'm just going to line this up over to the edge a little bit. Stick that down. Okay. And then I'm just going to put some art glitter glue on the back of our little sentiment here. Stick it down over here to the side, like so. Kind of line it up. I like this paper, it's kind of lined, so I can line it up pretty good. Alright, and there we do. We have our card. Very simple, but within the boundaries of the rules, red, green, and white. So there you go. So I hope you like the card. There's a little bit of differences here. On this one, I used the other side so that the lines of the tree were the other way. On this one, I used the edges. Just give you two different perspectives of the tree. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head over to Createathomewithg and to see his card today. I will link his channel below or either on the screen here. So go check him out. And if you've not subscribed to my channel or Gareth's channel, please do so by clicking that subscribe button. And don't forget to head over to Createathomewithg today. He has some fantastic, wonderful new items for the holiday seasons that just came out this past Sunday. They were just released. So head on over there and check that out as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you all tomorrow with Dollar Tree Tuesday and a Dollar Tree DIY. Thank you. Bye-bye.